Hello, everybody.
Good morning. We're waiting for. Oh, there's the other one.
Instagram's up. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Real quick, we're on live on Beer About It, Facebook, Instagram. If you're following, we're on Growler Cafe. Just heads up. So anyway, good morning. Beer About It.
Beer About It, episode 6.
Episode 6. Yeah. I'm Derek. This is Chris. We're here to kind of educate you guys on beer, drink beer, taste beer, do anything and talk anything about beer.
Yeah.
We're excited to be here. We're back at the cafe this morning again.
We got some good stuff today. We're doing a little bit of research here and learned a few new things. So I'm pretty excited to share some of that stuff with you guys. Learn a little bit about what some of these things mean. So
we got our beers here out in front of us. This is kind of something that we're starting to do to kind of put these out so you guys can get an idea of what the bottles look like, a little kind of an idea of what the beers are before we get to drink them. So these are a few of the beers. I think we have one that's not listed, that's not shown here, that we're going to be doing first, I guess.
This is what that one looks like.
There it is. So we're excited to talk about these beers. We got some really cool ones. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, pretty excited about it. I think we're gonna talk a little bit about Saisons today. I learned a little bit about what that means. Some pretty cool, interesting facts. We got a little bit of humor that we found today that just cracked us up. So we're gonna share that with you guys. What we got? Maybe we'll wait for a few people to kind of chime in here. I think, are we linking? Our growler. You're on it. We're on. Okay, good. So anyway, likes, shares, all that stuff. We want to kind of go through that. So if you guys are on here and you're liking what we're saying here, hit that thumbs up button. If you like what we're doing, you want to share it with your friends, please help with that too. It just kind of helps increase what we're doing and the awareness of what we're doing. So
totally. I think we're going to talk about a couple things. One of the things we had on our agenda, we have a tap takeover coming up, right, with Deluxe Brewing.
Right. On Tuesday.
On Tuesday. So Deluxe Brewing is from Albany, Oregon. These guys they're one of the first breweries, their second brewery, I think, in Albany.
Right.
They're killing it. And so we're going to do a takeover here with them.
Yeah. They do a lot of fun stuff. They're doing their own gin. They're doing their own whiskey now. Right. So I imagine there's some good barrel program stuff coming up. They're more like lighter beers, though. I don't know. So they kind of hone in on those light beers. So if you're into Pilsners, Lagers, Bocks, My Bocks, those sorts of things, definitely swing by. We're going to have giveaways about every 15 minutes. We've also got an Imperial Stout from them, which is a seasonal. It's fairly hard to get. And they just put out an IPA this year, too. So I'm kind of interested in trying that, too. I know that Howie, the brewer, isn't super big on IPAs, I don't think, but brewed one, and I heard it's making some waves, so pretty excited to try those things. So
definitely.
If you've got the evening 6 to 8 o'clock on Tuesday here at Growler Cafe in Lebanon, swing back down here, grab a bite to eat, learn a little bit about their brewery, and taste some good beers.
For sure, definitely, yeah. They give away some cool stuff, so come out and check it out.
Absolutely.
So what's anything we want to
We're going to need a bottle opener. We don't have one of those yet.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we can grab one.
Someone will have to grab that for us, but... So a couple exciting things have been happening. I know that we talked about going to Astoria. I don't know if we mentioned this last week, but we one of the reasons why we went that way is because we were nominated for an award.
Brewfest, well, not Brewfest of the Year, it'd be Small Festival of the Year. So we went there, and
it's not us. Not
just us. The Brewfest, which,
sure.
As you guys who have been there know, all the proceeds go to the local Boys and Girls Club, and we donated over $10,000 to them last year, and hoping to double that figure again this year. Super excited about the Brewfest. But yeah, we went, and they only give one award in each category, and this category here is Festival of the Year with a budget of under $150,000. It was given to Lebanon Brewfest, so we were super, super humbled and stoked to receive this only the second year in.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
So big thanks to, Chris Latimer, Boys and Girls Club of the Greater San Em, all the work they did. Lots of volunteers helped out with this thing. The community really rallied around us. We got to shut down Main Street, which was kind of a big deal this year. Really cool to see all these people, hanging out, having a great time, drinking really good beers. We had 24 breweries last year. We're already shaping up to have more this year. So big thanks to the community for rallying around it, and the Boys and Girls Club. Hope to have a bigger and better one this year.
For sure,
so,
definitely.
Hats off to everybody in Lebanon, Boys and Girls Club. We're going to have it down here if you want to come and check it out. I'll be at the Boys and Girls Club here probably after that.
For sure.
Yeah. What else we got to talk about? Anything? I think we're going to want to get into some.
So, well, we talked about Brewfest. Just want to tell them real quick, since we were just bringing it up. September 23rd is the day. Mark your calendars. I think we're shooting for like a 1 to 10 o'clock. Going to have some killer music lined up that day. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what day that was. I think we've talked about it before in the past, but I wanted to just let you guys know that's what we were shooting for.
Right. We got four food trucks this year. We had 2 last year, so they're calling us this year, which is really cool.
Totally. Yeah, it was a blast. I mean, I think Lebanon was super excited to have it, and I know they're excited for us to do it again this year, so it's going to be bigger and better, so definitely mark your calendars for sure.
Yeah, we're meeting on Monday, I guess, about that. Right?
We do. Yeah, meeting with him on Monday. Absolutely.
Sweet, guys. I think that sort of sums up some of the things here. We're going to be in Portland, hopefully, right, in a couple weeks. So we're kind of lining up some things there. Not really sure where we're going to do things from yet, but
next weekend, right?
Is it?
Yeah, next weekend. Right? Isn't that the day? Isn't today's the 17th?
25th.
Yeah, right. It's next weekend.
Oh, we got to get on that.
Yeah, I'm lining stuff up. I've already talked to a couple breweries, so we'll be hopefully live from a brewery in Portland next weekend. So definitely tune in for that for sure.
Yeah. So I think we're going to start with a beer that we have on tap. We always kind of want to highlight, one of the things that we have here, so you guys can actually come down here and purchase it if you'd like to. So we've got one beer that we're pouring right now. I just tapped it today. We blew a keg and I put it on today. So this is the first beer, and then the rest of them are going to be bottles that we get from Tavour. We'll talk a little bit about that when we go into those, but. So here's the IPA we're doing today.
What do we got here?
Modern Times Brewery. They're out of San Diego. So did a little bit of research on these people. They, I guess, name their stuff after, or their brewery is named after a utopian community in Long Island in 1850. It's now called Brentwood, New York. So they bartered and they kind of ignored conventional marriage things. I don't know what that means. There was some humor in there. I left it out. And I guess all their beers are named after real and methodical utopian places.
Oh,
kind of an
that's cool.
Interesting little tip.
That's cool.
Jacob McKean is the founder, and he started at Stone Brewing, so that's a good start.
Oh, that is a good start.
They started in 2013. So this is called, it's Modern Times Brewing Booming Rollers IPA. It's a 6.8% beer. 75 IBUs, and it rates 4.08, which is really good.
Wow.
Looks like another one of those unfiltered Vermont Northeast style. I'm not sure how to explain it.
Super hoppy and citrusy
Orangey.
in the nose and orangey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Peachy.
We got a few people down here hanging out with us this morning too, guys.
They're
patiently waiting.
This one's on draft. This is on draft though, so yeah, you guys will be getting a lot of this if you want it. Cool. Yeah, so it's Citra. It tastes a lot more bitter than I anticipated.
Oh wow, this is a great beer. This is
a lot of these Northeast IPAs that we've been trying are 50 IBUs, so they kind of drink like juice. When you're used to drinking an IPA that's up in the 70 and 80 IBU range, you taste those. They're really mellowed, easy to drink, but this one's a little more bitter.
Yeah, I definitely has one more backbone to it for sure. Probably a little bit more hops in the boil on this guy.
Dry. It's Citra. There's a Muteca. It's a hop from New Zealand, which is kind of stony and fruity. You taste that little bit of fruit in there.
You know what I like about going back to a single IPA and not drinking a double or a triple all the time is that balance is so nice, and it's not overly sweet. It's nice and crisp,
not syrupy,
right, crisp and clean,
medium body or mouthfeel.
Right.
Another cool thing about this brewery is when you're looking at the notes, it has a home brewer recipe right in the bottom.
Oh, they're just giving it away.
All of them. All the recipes for their brewery. You just click on this little link and it takes you to some other site, and it's like a 5-gallon recipe, so you don't even have to break it down. You can brew this beer at home.
So we follow Great Notion. We did them the second brewery I think we did. They just collabed with these guys.
See?
So Modern Times was just there doing a beer with them, and I guess they're super stoked about it. So be on the lookout for that.
This is a great beer. I'm glad that we got a keg of this. It was one of those please, you see it in the inventory. There's one left, and a lot of times they're tagged for an event or something like that. And so I just sent my wish list through, and
ding, ding,
Bigfoot
ding.
distributed and came through with everything that I wanted. So this is one of those all-stars. Yeah,
I'll be drinking this up for sure.
Great start to the morning, huh?
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want to drink that, but
Here, you can put these on your side. You'll be drinking these. Don't mind us.
all right.
Next beer.
You can pour a little more in there too. It's number 5 if you want.
Everybody Wants Some. This is super cool art. So these guys, if you find anything from Against the Grain, this is let me talk a little bit about the beer before I go into Against the Grain. But anyway, this is a collaboration with Hoof Hearted Brewing. You didn't hear me say Hoof Hearted. It's Hoof Hearted.
Hoof Hearted.
We actually have a little. we had a little video we got to show you guys from their website. It's super hilarious. Before we get started.
Yeah, he found this morning. I'll try to get it so you guys can see here. Hold on. Anyway.
It's hilarious. This will worth it.
Yeah, it's totally worth it. You guys got to check it out. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, that's enough. You get the gist.
Okay, so Against the Grain Brewing and Hoof Hearted Brewing. Against the Grain is out of Louisville, Kentucky, and Hoof Hearted is out of Ohio. These guys got together and made this beer called Everybody Wants Some. Everybody Wants Some is a beer actually that Hoof Hearted does like 5 or 6 different varietals of this beer, and so they collabed with these guys to do this one. This one is a 6% ABV, so it's right there in the middle of the road. There's no IBU listed, and Untapped comes in at 3.74. This is an IPL, so it's an Indiana Pale Lager.
India
Pale Lager, sorry. And so the difference between a standard IPA and a lagered IPA, basically you can lager anything. Lager just basically means a cool fermentation. So when they move this from the boil and they move it into a tank, it's in a cool fermenter. When generally IPAs will ferment at like 45, 50, 55 degrees, whereas this one will be in like the mid 30s to low 40s. So it's a cool fermentation, takes a little bit longer, and then there's special yeast that go into lagers as well that dictate that. And if I could say it, Saccharomyces pastor anise.
Yeah, we gotta make.
I got nothing.
Those kind of words.
I got nothing. But anyway, so yeah.
So this kind of beer, I saw this beer a couple years ago. First one I saw, Indian Pale Lager. I was like, well, that sounds delightful. You know, a hoppy lager, great for a summer. I was thinking.
Yeah.
Does smell like a lager.
It does smell like a lager for sure. So that yeast, that different yeast that they're using in this is where it's going to give you that smell.
Not a whole lot of hops, so they didn't dry hop it. It doesn't smell like.
Well, it's interesting because on the back of the can it says this is superiority of hop flavor and a hop lover's dream. Ooh, this is good. You don't like it?
It's all right.
The reaction came delayed.
I like it for what it is. You know, it's not my. You know, light beers are really not my thing, but. Now that it's lingering on my palate a little bit, here's another thing. I don't know. Did we talk about this, like taking 1 or 2 sips of beer, not letting it startle you? Oh, okay.
In the beginning, we talked about sours, about how it startles people in the beginning, but yeah.
Right, anything. I mean, like, you know, you should try a couple sips of it. Let it resonate in your palate a little bit. So it's lingering around a lot longer than a normal lager would, definitely.
So giving this to a lager drinker or a Pilsner drinker off the get-go would be a little bit of a surprise. I mean, they would expect something a lot.
I like beers like
less
that.
hoppy.
But I like beers like that because then because we got a lot of people that are coming here just trying to break into the whole. This is why we're doing this. You know, I mean, people are just trying to learn about the industry. Really don't know what to drink. They're used to drinking when they think of beer. They're like Coors Light, Bud Light, whatever, Miller High Life, and so that's not what beer is. So you kind of introduce them into the light, you know, White Zinfandel and the rosé category, you know, of beer, and then. These will sort of help introduce their palate into hops a little bit, like more like softly,
right? Rather than like it's a gateway. It's a gateway beer.
It's a gateway.
It's a gateway beer. At least it doesn't smell like a fart.
Yeah,
that would be bad.
Who farted?
JD asked if it smelled okay. I said it smells fine. Yeah.
Yeah, Ginny, I saw you on here. Good morning. JD, Yuli, what's up? Hope you're having a good weekend off. I'm working for Yuli in the kitchen today. Come down, I'll cook you some food tonight. Yeah.
On to the next.
You guys can, you might need to grab some glasses, though. I don't have any glasses.
Oh.
Jay's like, I'm not drinking out of that. I'm surprised you're touching those, Jay. All right, so we're going to break in. So this one here, I'll let you pour. I'll kind of talk a little bit.
Sure.
Harmon Brewing. It's in Tacoma, Washington, which is kind of in our hometown, right? I mean, you know, what? So it's
We got a foamy one.
It's still growing. Okay, maybe a towel. So, okay, this is in Tacoma, founded in 1999.
Wow.
Yeah.
We don't know about
No
that.
kidding. I was like kind of surprised about
Harmon?
that. Harmon. I've seen a couple things from people that post, like Mike Lay and some of those guys have posted some things on them. But, you know, they have 5 locations, 3 in Tacoma, 1 in Gig Harbor, 1 in Puyallup. So we're doing today, it's called Lagered Beers Saison. It's 5%. No IBUs listed, and it rates a 3.75 on Untapped as well, as I think yours was too. So these beers sort of, introduce questions that I'm like, I don't really know what a Saison is. You know, we sell Saisons here, and typically Saisons to me are like a light, crisp, sort of clovey, right?
Yeah.
Flavor.
Yeah. That's exactly what I think about.
So that's how I describe them to people when they come in here. Oh, it's kind of a light, sort of clovey. Some of them are tart, some of them are not. So there's really, and so when I started reading on them, the spectrum is huge, really. It's like, you ask, I was reading one article and it was like, I asked 7 different breweries and they gave me 7 different answers about what a Saison is. So typically, what it really means is, so a Saison and a farmhouse are pretty much the same. Just depends on what area of the country that they were brewed in. So in Belgium, it's called a Saison, and in France, it's called a farmhouse. It comes from a couple places. Willenona is a French-speaking area in Belgium.
Holy cow.
So what it was basically used for, it was brewed for people on the farm. They brewed it in the winter time because there's less cultures in the air at that time. And it was really like a harvest beer, so they really pitched whatever they want to. So sometimes the hop yield was low, so they pitched like juniper and, pine spruce and all sorts of crazy branches and spices and whatever.
Whatever they could pick up off the ground.
Yeah. Maybe.
Whatever.
I've had some interesting Saisons, I'll have to say. So... And it was brewed for the workers in the summer. So they would brew it in the wintertime, they would store it. It was really just like another crop, really. And each worker was allowed 7 liters of beer a day, which is a shitload. Excuse my language.
Just getting hammied on the farm.
But another reason why, so it's typically low in alcohol as well. They're lower in alcohol. But... And I guess back in the day, if you think about it, the water wasn't pasteurized, so this is one way to actually kind of hydrate the workers after their crops and all that. So
I'm guessing they throw fruit in it, like whatever they got
right.
on the farm.
Well, this has what did I say? Nectar berries, which is a boysenberry. I had to look that up too. Rustic, low in alcohol, product of harvest, light, dry, Pilsner malt, highly carbonated typically. We're going to drink yet? I'm tired of talking about
it's kind of what I'm...
Right.
Kind of what I'm thinking.
All right. It was interesting.
Yeah. It smells like a sour, and it smells fruity.
Yeah, there's a lot of sediment in this beer.
Oh, was there?
Yeah. So it's kind of hazy.
The way it bubbles, I'm going to say that it's going to be like really like kind of overly carbonated, double fermented. Mm-hmm.
This is a light fruit beer.
Wow.
It's not clovey.
Not clovey at all.
They use Belgian style yeast. There's a Saison yeast. It is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's that Belgian style.
It smells like a farmhouse, when you smell it.
Yeah, what does that mean though?
That cloviness that you were saying you didn't get, I think I get a little bit in the nose.
I get it in the end, and it lingers around. You get like raspberry kind of in the front.
Yeah.
But pretty clean.
Yeah.
Tart. It's like a Goza.
It is kind of like a Goza. I would say an entry-level sour for somebody who wants to get into sours, like not overly tart, but just a little bit.
But another thing, like I said...
wild beer.
Like I said, they're all over the place. So when you pick up a farmhouse or a saison, you know, it's kind of just expect something light. Really, that's the only thing that I would say to expect. Really.
It was good.
Matt, what's up? I saw some other people kind of joining us too. Hey, Mom. Good morning. What does a farmhouse smell like?
Oh, ooh-wee. I'm glad it doesn't smell like a farmhouse.
No.
That's not. Remember on the whole fart thing? It's like everything is like
there's
resonating.
There's a lot of smell talk going on today, huh?
All right, next beer. It was interesting to see this beer come in a can. So Stillwater Artisanal, not Stillwater Brewing.
Oh.
Don't call them Stillwater Brewing. I read up on it. It's like a pet peeve of theirs. Stillwater Artisanal. These guys are out of Baltimore, Maryland. We've had a few Stillwater sours.
Oh my god! I got one next door.
And they're phenomenal. But anyway, this is a super hop IPA. It's listed as a neotropic IPA, which is interesting. So I had to pick it up and give it a shot. So while you pour it, I'll talk a little bit about the brewery.
Their labels are all like this. You notice that? It's just like one pattern over the whole whatever bottle.
Yeah, and I didn't see why, and how about that. It just kind of seems unique, something different. Yeah. Brian, is it Strumke? Brian Strumke. This guy, the head brewer. This brewery opened up in 2010, so they haven't been around long, but he's been brewing since 2004. He got his start backyard brewing and doing some crazy funky stuff with herbs and spices and wild yeasts, which back in 2004, I mean, wild yeast stuff, like I don't remember really there being a lot of that. So he's kind of a pioneer when it comes to doing some interesting, crazy beers. This one here, I'm not guessing is going to be like that, but he was winning awards. He won second best brewer in the world the first year they opened in 2010. Yeah. So
it's amazing that we haven't heard a lot more about these guys. I mean, I've heard of them, but I would say the average person.
Yeah, draft distribution I don't think is around. It may be, but you can pick up cans. I got this in Washington. So this is available around. I know that the sours we're getting through Tavour.
Right, let's do that. We haven't talked about them yet. If you've tuned in, and you know we talk about it all the time. Tavour is a really awesome app. My brother and I use it. Well, he doesn't anymore because it was too good. It gets a little expensive because they all are amazing. Tavour, basically you get 2 notifications a day. It's a bottle, basically bottles that you can't get from around here. So people like us, beer geeks, if you're in love with beer, definitely look into it. Tavour, it's right back here. Check it out. So a lot of these bottles are coming from them. So thanks to them, we're able to try some beers that we typically wouldn't be able to try.
Yeah, totally. All right. Ooh, my gosh. This reminds me of like a Block 15 beer. The smell.
It does. It smells really well balanced.
Orangey,
fruity. Does it say what kind of hops are in here? Fruity hops?
Starfruit, papaya. Yeah, the hops in this. What did they list as a hop? They didn't list the different hops that were in this.
Bastards.
I know. It's actually listed as a tropic farmhouse IPA on Untappd. It's a so the Untappd. So let me tell you a little about the ABV. 6%, 60 IBU, and 3.86 on Untappd, which it smells better than a 3. It smells like a 4 to me. Oh wow, that's great. I like it.
The same every time. It's like, oh wow. Oh.
I like it. Trust me, I tell you, if I didn't like it, there's been beers we haven't liked, and I didn't like last.
I don't know. It's West Coast to me. It looks like an East Coast, juicy. It smells like an East Coast, but it finishes a lot drier than I expected it to finish.
It's definitely a lot drier than the 60 IBU. I'd say this is drier than the 70 that we just had before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's good though. I think that this is good. And the second flavor.
I'm glad you came around.
It's good. I don't know what else to say. Pretty clean.
Yeah, it's a crisp. It's a dry, hoppy IPA.
It's lingering around for a long time. Like it's still, you can still taste all those hops that they put in it.
I think you did a good job. I think they did good in a can. Nonetheless.
There's a thing about cans. I've heard some of these people, because cans obviously is the new thing, everybody's doing cans, they're like, drink it out of the can is the thing to do. I don't know what I was watching, but they were like, that's how it's supposed to be drank, out of the can. And it changes flavor, I guess.
I got nothing. Mike, Caw just joined. Oh, he's working.
No, it's Cammy.
Oh, it's Cammy. Good morning, Cammy.
Good morning, Cammy.
Or Mike, or whoever it is.
That's good. I'm gonna drink the rest of it.
First, he
It's
didn't
gonna
like
be a good
it.
workout. I'm gonna. And I was like, I don't know. It's good. All right.
Next.
I'll let you kind of
Pour here.
do that. So then this one is from Tavour. This is where we got it. Fulton Brewing. They're out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kind of looked at a little bit about their brewing, where they came from, and what about them. They went. See, they started in 2009, brewing like 10 gallons of beer in their garage. We got some lively beers today, huh?
A little bit.
Anyway, 10 gallons, and now they're doing an 80 barrels.
Oh, wow.
10 gallons to 80. So
Holy
that's not even a keg of beer.
Right.
In their garage. And they, the more I read up on these guys, the more of these breweries are just they went to school for something completely different. And then they just kind of love brewing, love doing this. They kind of put a team together. Sort of what happened to these guys. So this is their first sour beer. So they just started a sour project. The beer is called Culture Project Series Number 1. It's in the Flemish tradition, which is like a Flanders style, which is an area, typically a red ale. I think we talked about Flanders before.
We did.
It's a Belgian region, so it's a Flanders style. It's a red ale aged in wine barrels. It's got lactobacilli, pediococcus, and Brettanomyces, if I'm saying those properly.
Yeah. Those are yeast strains.
Those are all yeast strains. Those are like souring yeast strains. Those were all added. It was brewed with the Saisons yeast to begin, and then once it went into the wine barrels, they added those bacteria to just kind of sour the beer up a little bit.
The barrel aged at all?
It's in wine barrels. So
okay.
Red ale aged in red wine barrels. So this one comes in at 6.7 ABV. It's 7 IBUs, and it rates a 4.02 on Untappd.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited. It looks barrel aged.
It does look barrel aged. It's got that little red. You know what it reminds me of? The color of it?
Huh.
Chin Chopper.
Oh, right.
The barrel aged. So we did a beer with Calapooya called Chin Chopper, and we barrel aged it in Pinot Noir barrels, and it really has the same kind of color.
Excuse me.
There?
Super wine in the nose.
This is my kind of beer. I can already tell.
Does it say what type of wine? It just says wine.
Red wine.
Oh, red wine. So it doesn't get the varietal. But
yeah.
Good morning, Jennifer.
Clean red wine. Not as like a medium mouthfeel. Not as I think Flanders a lot of times are a little thicker.
Yeah, right. This is for the red wine barrel aged Belgian that we tried last week.
Oh, right. To compare it to that,
was a little more tart than this was. Like that one was very acidic and tart. This one here is pretty well balanced on the tartness. Like it's kind of buttery at the end. It's not overly sour. I mean, it's definitely sour. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a sour beer, but
yeah,
I mean,
right. Don't go into this thinking it's not sour. I don't know what else to say about it. It's freaking amazing.
I like kind of caramely a little bit. I like drinking it at room temperature and not having it cold. It's kind of nice.
I didn't even realize that it wasn't cold.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice to have it.
Yeah, I think some of them say on here like what you're supposed to drink it at. But
if you haven't been out and picked up a barrel-aged sour or a barrel-aged beer in the last 6 episodes since we've been doing this and ranting and raving about barrel-aged beers, get one. It's not all about bourbon barrel-aged beers.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
did we talk about French and American oak?
I don't think we did.
I know that we discussed it a little bit. It's something about the barrel. It's kind of it's really coming around a lot now. They're reusing barrels for all sorts of different things, and we were talking to someone that was scraping the insides out. Were you with me on that conversation?
I wasn't.
Oh, jeez.
Well, we were at DeGard, and we were asking about the American oak and the French oak, and he was saying American oak gives them more vanilla flavors, whereas the French oak doesn't.
Right, where tanniny, spicy flavors come out of French oak, and the other ones are like caramely vanillas and all that.
Right.
This is a red wine. I think most wines are
French.
in French.
Right.
Right. Because you get those tannins and whatnot.
It's weird how that works. The French make barrels and import them to America, and America make barrels and import them to France, and we don't use each other. It's like,
Yeah.
it's weird.
It is weird. Anyhow, guys, what do we got? We got any questions? You guys have any questions? First of all, thanks for tuning in here. Like, share, all that fun stuff. Mom, what are you saying? Interesting. Didn't know.
You can drink beers at different temperatures.
Yeah. I think we talked about it a couple times, especially like stouts and stuff like that. They open up a lot to
Most
sours.
beers are going to be cold, but yeah, you can
Yeah, like IPAs you can drink cold, Pilsners, lagers, cold.
yeah, but wild beers and beers that are barrel aged, I'd say for the most part, can be drank.
Yeah, right. Barrel aged
can be
beers could be a little warmer.
Right.
Open up those flavors a bit more.
Exactly.
So I think we have. That's about it, huh?
I think so too. I think that's episode 6 in the books.
So you'll have to tune in next week to see where we're going to be from. We don't know where we're going to be filming from yet either.
Definitely share the love, you guys. Share this video. Tell your friends and family about it if they're interested in beer. We're trying to gain ground on our Beer About It page. So if you haven't liked us on Instagram, obviously you're following us from Beer About It on Facebook, so you know about that. Yeah, we appreciate all of the support and everything from you guys. So we'll continue doing this as long as we get your guys' support. So
Totally. We'll see you next week for episode number 7.
episode 7.
All right.